Hey there! I love discovering unique and mind-blowing musicians on the internet. One day, while scrolling through Facebook, I stumbled upon something fantastic. I don't want to give too much away here as I want to save the best part for our conversation. Let's welcome the talented musician Mike Badson. Hi, Mike. Welcome to 10 Questions with Rick Henry Christopher. It is a pleasure to have you today.
Hi, Rick. It's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's start with the humble beginnings. What was the first instrument you learned to play? What inspired you?
Sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
What was the first instrument you learned to play? What inspired you?
Oh, right. Yeah, got you. Okay. Well, my dad played violin in the local orchestra when I was a kid. And he was really keen. When I was tiny, he bought me a trumpet. Brothers were chasing each other and they managed to jump on it and bend it. He bought me a violin. Same thing happened. I remember even he was always playing his records, but Herb Alpert and Tuana Brass, like folk music from the Greek islands or Beethoven and stuff. Was whipped into piano practice as a kid, resented the heck out of it most of the time, but now I'm really glad of it. Thanks, Mum. I went to a school that had a strong musical bias, so there were clarinet lessons there, which I liked better than piano, but still, it wasn't until I picked one up for fun with no pressure, a clarinet, that I could actually enjoy it. There's massive jock culture in the school. I used to sort of hide from them because I was just like an outcast, an outsider. I used to hide in the music school, and there were a lot of guitars lying around. I picked one up and figured out how to play it using a little book that was also lying around. Found it a lot more easy and intuitive than piano and the clarinet. So when I was waiting for my GCSE results, I bought myself an electric guitar I'd seen in a shop with the money I'd earned working in a sweet shop, in a sweet factory, I mean.
Trying to sort out your many musical projects is as complex as the music you produce. To simplify things, can you name each of your projects, what makes each unique, and how are you involved?
Okay, well, the Sonic Soup Jam Band is supposed to be like a band. I'm open to members recruiting themselves. We don't actually have any members, never have. Anything centered around guitars gets filed under that, though. Pedro and Mucky Badger, yeah. Mucky Badger, we attribute to Mucky any tunes that are a bit challenging, a bit horrible, a bit unpleasant, not easy listening. And under Pedro's names go more comfortable experiences that don't come under the other umbrellas. There was an ambient project at one point, but yeah, whenever I came up with a name for that, the name would always turn out to be being used already by someone else. I decided eventually the ambient tunes weren't really ambient anyway. I haven't really been focused on them for a while, to be honest. Haven't been up in the middle of the night unable to sleep. The most recent project, favourite one to work with so far, is Invisible Rhino. That's all electronic, technological, down-tempo and faster, meant to move you around in the mind or the body.
Do you compose the music for all your projects? Where do you start in the composition process? Where do your ideas come from?
Yeah, I remember reading once that Frank Black from the Pixies got all his ideas in the bath. I suppose it's because you can't reach your instruments and you can't record anything. I do a lot of listening back in the bath for the same reason, actually. It prevents me from interfering with the mix while I'm listening to it, so I have to listen to the end and just come up with general impressions of what's wrong with the whole thing when I'm fixing stuff. Used to be a very interesting question, actually, when I was making everything by bricklaying, but now all I have to do is press the instant hit single button.
I've listened to several of your Cellar Tapes projects, such as Invisible Rhino, Pedro Agnew, Mucky Badger, and the Sonic Soup Jam Band. The music is incredible. There are layers upon layers of music. It's easy to get lost in this wonderful maze of music. How do you put it all together?
Used to have to find a crazy sound to loop things around. I would just put as many layers as I wanted in to make impossible music, and I didn't really care. I just wanted it to sound however. I eventually had to come to a decision about how much fullness I wanted in each bass, middle, top areas. Space fills up, you don't want to use all of it. There's been some space. There has to be some space left for the listener's head. You see, if there's no space for the listener's head, then it can be claustrophobic or a bit sort of totalitarian, as if I'm some kind of a dictator, insisting everybody do jerks and moves to each and every beat, note, wisp.
I try not to ask run-of-the-mill questions, but I must know, who inspired you? Who are the musicians that turned you on to music?
Turned me on to music. I didn't think music was viable as a career until I met at school a lad in my year, but in a higher form than me, called Julian Shaw Taylor from The Singularity now. There's a band called The Singularity in LA. He was so determined and single-minded. I'm going to be a rock star. I'm going to be a rock star. That's what I'm going to do. And it bowled me over, really. It forced me to reassess my ideas on what was out there, what was available, and possibilities for living. He showed me how to play Blackbird by Paul McCartney, and he made it so easy that I kind of went back to my room and started pausing and rewinding some of my favourite music on tape to work out on cassettes, to work out little licks and chord patterns to various songs by people like Sisters of Mercy, Stone Roses, Charlatans, Pink Floyd, Ride, even Ozric Tentacles here and there, where I went to a gig in 1992 and saw the Ozric Tentacles play there. And that show blew me away. It really kind of opened me up and definitely felt very exposed. I remember feeling like I'd been abducted by aliens, programmed in some way, hypnotically programmed, you want to make music like this. And ever since I have done, I've wanted to anyway, and dabbled with it. Okay.
Do you do live performances? If so, how do you recreate your sound live?
I record all the tunes live, but here at home in my room. It should be, theoretically, it would be easy to do stuff live. I should just be able to take the 8 little boxes out, plug them in, and start playing away. Sonic Soup, as an Invisible Rhino at least, Sonic Soup Jam Band would need members. We haven't got members. Ambient thing, I don't know. Has anybody listened to Ambient live? I wouldn't take Mucky Badger stuff out live anyway, because people are there to enjoy themselves, I think.
Do you have other musicians or engineers working with you, or is this all you?
I like to get local musicians in here and there to do little parts when I can. But, guitar part, coin guitar part on Destroy Before Reading was by a friend. He called himself Simeon at the time. I don't think he's active at the moment. Let me see. Yeah, when he did the Sonic Soup Jam Band tunes and the Pedro Agnew solo album, I had some friends there. Was living in a shared house, and I had a few friends there referred to as the Midnight Elves, as work always seemed to be finished like when I didn't realise it was finished, so as though the elves were coming in the midnight to finish it for me. But yeah, I had them bashing, scraping, flicking at things, or doing mouth and body slapping sounds, and so on for a cappella techno tunes while I recorded them to make percussive, reverberating sound collages. And that was a really fun time. I wish I could more often find people prepared to function on that wavelength.
Your music is hypnotic and psychotic. How do you describe it?
My music's hypnotic and psychotic. Okay, thank you, I think. Yeah, hypnotic, yeah. Psychotic, though, yeah. Okay, thanks. Hope. The Invisible Rhino stuff. I was speaking to a drunk Glaswegian person who was very enthusiastic, and he described it as sci-funk. I don't know whether he was spelling it sci-funk or sci-funk, one way or the other, or e-punk as well, he called it. I had absolutely no idea what to call it, so I crowdsourced the solution, and those were the most popular answers that came back from the fans. Thank you, Tam. Thank you, Colin. You know who you are.
What do you have planned in the next few months? Any new music? Maybe a new direction?
No new direction. Exploring the current one. Become able to do a more stable stereo field. That was pretty boring and geeky, isn't it? I do periodically go through mad rushes of recording far more than I need to. You can sometimes find me doing that mid-GMT weekdays on Pedro Agno's Twitch channel. Come and hang out there if you want. It's all fun, sort of all fun and laughs there. I've been working on, or was working at one point, on a colorization and soundtrack for modernisation for the film Metropolis by Fritz Lang. But I encountered somebody else who'd had a go at doing that, and he'd been told by the F.W. Murnau Foundation in Germany to sort of stop, to cease and desist, to not do it. Apparently it's okay in America, but not if you're in Europe, or still close to Europe and governed by European laws. So it'll be okay in another 23 years. Maybe it'll come out. Maybe I'll work on it in the meantime, keep it to myself. Maybe it'll come out in 23 years' time when the copyright expires.
Thank you very much, Mike, for joining me. It was such a thrill learning more about you and your music, and I look forward to hearing more from you. Once again, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
It was a pleasure, Rick. I'm grateful and flattered by your invitation. Sayonara. Thank you very much. And yeah, everybody go to youtube.com/OTL to twitch.tv/Pedro Agno, and to www.muckybadger.bandcamp.com. See you out there.